We did a survey of our seminarians last year asking when and how they discerned the priesthood. Most of them can point to a time, some point when they're growing up. The real work happens in the family and in the parish. And so we take very seriously the responsibility to identify and to form good, quality, holy, healthy men for the priesthood.
I would say my vocation started with when I was very, very young, back in Burma. That's where I was born. And then after I moved to the States, I was helping at St. Mark's. I began serving there. Both environments nourished me in their own ways for my faith and as well as for my vocation.
I started maybe having the idea of priesthood in my head probably around 7th grade. We went to Mass every Sunday. My dad was the principal at St. Roch Grade School, and I would ask my dad to drive me to reconciliation. It so happened that I saw Kai there. And, this random guy from my geography class that I was somewhat friends with. It changed my life when I found someone else that was also thinking about priesthood.
Knowing that someone else, who goes to the same school as you is also discerning the priesthood is really encouraging, and you're not alone.
Priests are made, they're not born. And the church puts a lot of investment into forming our priests, participating in an event sponsored by our Vocations office, like Bishop Brute Days or summer camp at Brute Seminary, or a discernment dinner. And so our castle nights especially are just an opportunity to get to know seminarians, to bring high school men and seminarians together. They pray together, they have a meal together, they might go out and play basketball or play soccer. The best thing about these castle nights is getting young men and seminarians together so that they can see that, yeah, I could do this.
We got to meet seminarians for the first time. I'd never met a seminarian in my life until I was, 13, 14 years old. And it's like I saw like an older, better version of myself. There's this thing that clicked, it's like, yeah, I see myself here.
And so I oversee the application process for seminary formation, which involves written documentation, sacramental records, academic records, references and recommendations, a series of interviews, including an interview with Archbishop Thompson. That includes opportunities like Spanish language and cultural immersion. It includes hospital ministry, chaplaincy internships, includes spirituality ministries, growing in a prayer life. And all of that costs money along the way. And the United Catholic Appeal and other sources of funding in the Archdiocese provide that for our seminarians as a ministry and as a service of the Church to prepare for our future priests.
I think back to myself. I was blessed. I didn't have to pay for my seminary education. That was provided for me by the generous donors of the Archdiocese. And actually that support continues throughout your priesthood. People love their priests and they want to be there for their priests. They want to support them. I can honestly tell you that I have felt out the support throughout my 39 years of priesthood. All the programming and things that we try to do right now, we're trying to make sure that none of our priests have to pay for convocation. And we've been very blessed in the last few years to have a donor who said, yes, I would like to make sure that the priests can go to that convocation and not worry about how they're going to pay for it. There's all kinds of supports that are continually put in place, but they couldn't be there if people weren't generous. Because it's not about just me getting these benefits. They're only there to be shared. And if I have opportunities to be the best I can be, then that's going to make a difference, I hope, in the lives of the people I serve. Our retired priests are such a blessing to the Archdiocese. Father Todd Reeby was the pastor at Christ the King, which is nearby, and now he's moved back home to Terre Haute. He still helps out at the parishes in Terre Haute and takes masses and assists and does that with some physical challenges.
I was called to the hospital to anoint a man who was dying, and I asked, what does he have? And she said, Parkinson's. And I said, I do too. I like to say I'm recycled, instead of retired, I'm recycled. Because, helping the younger priests now is a great joy. Because I know when I was in active ministry, the retired priests were such a gift, because when you needed that extra break, when something came up and they could fill in, it was such a gift. And now to be able to do that for the younger priests, I'm delighted.
You never retire. You never stop being a priest. You can't stop being who you are. And so that vocation is there till you breathe your last. It just changes in how you serve and how you give.
People tease me all the time, you're retired, Father, you're retired, but at the same time, they know we're available. And as a retired priest and administering spiritual direction and confessions, you just have more time for people, which is great. I often, in past years when I was in active ministry, you'd see the different donations to the Archdiocese, United Catholic Appeal, all of those things. You'd see the different places they go to, seminary formation, things like that. And there's always a retired priest. And now I'm in that group of retired priests and grateful for all that the Archdiocese does. It makes possible for us to continue to live and to minister. And so I would say thank you to everyone who contributes in any way.
When we look at the support given from United Catholic Appeal, from our benefactors who have set up endowments, individuals could not do that on their own. But a lot of people doing little parts of that are able to provide something that's much bigger than any one person could do.
When I look back on these 44 years, the word that would come to mind would be gratitude. Each stage of my life as a priest has been blessed in so many ways. I'm so grateful for it. I wouldn't want it any other way.
All vocations are sacred, and they're great gifts and they're blessings from God. But I can honestly say that I couldn't think of a more wonderful vocation to have been called to than to be called to be a priest.